Ooh, back to our story. Maybe he's just shy, Vanessa suggested. He wasn't too shy to jump into a speeding truck, hashtag pointed out. Heroic instinct, I explained. If you're a hero, you just are. It doesn't matter whether you're stopping a mugging or running into a burning building to save people. I had the most authority to talk about heroism had since I was the only kid in school who'd been saved by an actual hero. So why the disappearing act? Zane persisted. You guys don't get it, I told them. He's modest. Some people don't have to be celebrated for every good deed. For a true super kid, just helping out is thanks enough. Why was it so hard for people to imagine a genuine Good Samaritan in our midst? I must have had that conversation, or one just like it, 10 times that day. Even the teachers were fascinated, thinking that this amazing hero might be someone they saw every day in one of their classes. Not to be negative, but middle schools were filled with a lot of dimwits who never thought beyond their next hot dog, video game, or shade of lip gloss. The idea that one of us might turn out to be a super kid was pretty exciting for the faculty, too. The only person who had no interest in the mystery was the guy who had been from Mars. Yes, Noah was still on the cheerleading squad, sad to say. Miss Torres was sticking to her decision not to let me kick him off. I was starting to think she was doing it on purpose, a test of my positivity. Believe me, any cheerleader who could smile through Noah's performances could smile through a killer tornado. At practice that day, we were stretching, and Noah was doing his regular whatever it was he did, a cross between knee bends and those death throes of a stick insect that's been run over by a bike. He heard us talking about the super kid and went even paler than usual. What's wrong, Noah? Asked Kelsey Leventhal. His lips pinched together and turned dead white, and he ran for the boys' locker room like police were after him. Wow, I commented, frowning. If I'd known it was that easy to get rid of him, I would have had my house almost blow up weeks ago. Some of the girls thought I was kidding. Chapter 9, Super Secret by Noah Eucalyptus. I never thought I'd see anything in real life as amazing as the stuff on YouTube. This was logical. YouTube was the sum total of human experience. But since it was the house, disaster unavoidable, and then at the last second, I was getting crazy just thinking about it. Donovan was famous for getting himself in trouble because he always acted without thinking. But here was proof that thinking was overrated. If he had taken time to think, the truck would have been out of reach and Megan's house would have gone up in a fireball. I'd studied the great heroes of humanity, people like Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but Donovan was just someone I'd read about. Oh, he wasn't someone I read about. He was my best friend, and I witnessed his act of great heroism with my own eyes. I even participated a little when I fell in the pool at the end and got really bad chafing on the long, wet walk home. This was living history. But the more I thought about those heroes of the past, the more I realized that they'd had an advantage Donovan didn't. They were free to tell their stories to the world. Donovan couldn't admit that he was a super kid because then he'd have to explain what he was doing near Hashtag's house. That was technically my fault. I was the reason he'd been out on Staunton Street. But how could I regret that? If Donovan hadn't come to intercept me, no one would have been there to protect the Mercuries. The frustration of it was killing me. Donovan deserves so much credit. And how much was he going to get? Zero. I hadn't even been able to stand up to Hashtag for him. Now it was too late for that. I promised Donovan I'd stay away. Just seeing him stressing over the whole situation broke my heart. He should have been having parades thrown in his honor and getting the Keytron star collapsing into a black hole. Donovan, we have to tell everyone, I urged. Whatever trouble you get in won't matter when people find out what a hero you are. The things he threatened to do with me would have been scary if they hadn't been anatomically impossible. Actually, there's no way to pull someone's liver out through his ear canal, I said gently, but I got the point, which was never, 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 never. Over the PA, when the principal Verlander was done with his usual announcements, he introduced head cheerleader Megan Mercury, who had something special to say. Her voice was like I'd never heard it before, emotional. Not that she didn't get emotional when she was yelling at me, but this was a different kind of emotion. find out what she says tomorrow.